Hey guys, it's Misty from the Jolly Fun Elf. Welcome to Friday's video in the Floral Phrases series. This week I've been focusing on this stamp set along with the floral bouquet paper and the delicate floral thinlit size. And today's card is one that I think could easily be used as either a save the date or a wedding invitation, etc. I made it a mini size and I absolutely love it. We're gonna do some embossing, we're gonna use the die, etc. So let's head over to my craft table and I'll show you how I made it. Guys, this is the final project. I'm not going to call it a card because it's going to be a little bit more involved in that. In my Floral Phrases stamp set series, I've used the Floral Phrases stamp set. I've used the detailed floral thinlits. We've used I think it's called floral bouquet paper. So yeah, let me show you what we're going to do this time. Now, this is actually one of the projects that's in the annual catalog. So I'm going to take a piece of cardstock. This is a piece of Night and Navy. I've cut it at 4 1/4 and it's 4 1/4 by 11. I'm going to bring in my Big Shot. So I have my multi-purpose platform per usual. And then I have the precision base plate. And then I'm going to bring in my piece of cardstock. Now, when you want to cut, or when you want the end to have this edge, this is what you do. You line it up just like this. And then you bring in this piece. And it lines up just like that. I'm going to bring in a cutting pad. I'm going to run this through 2 times because I find even with this precision plate, that's what it needs. So as you can see, it cut this side out. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to switch sides. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to line this up. Put this right up against it. I'm going to add a cutting plate. We're going to run this through, again, 2 times. You could probably get away with using a shim if you wanted to. This may work just fine with your Big Shot. I'm finding that I need just a little more pressure with mine. So this is awkward for me, so sorry guys. Okay. So what we have, to move this out of the way, is we have 2 edges that are cut. So see how it shapes the edges. And the good thing is this works with either the smaller die or this bigger die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a second, clear all of these out, and then I will be right back. Okay guys, I'm back, and what I've done since I left you is I went ahead and brought in my Simply Stored scoring tool, and I scored as close to the edges as I can get. Now, there are 2 ways you could do this. I chose to do it this way, so when it closes, it's like this. You could also use the big and the little, and then like use a piece of paper in the middle, or just use a piece of ribbon or something, and then put the card behind it. But I wanted to do a small one today. I think if you wanted to do like wedding invitations or thank you cards or save the dates, I would choose to do it this way, and then make sure just your ribbon or some vellum or something, which is what we're going to use. So I'm going to bring in, we're done with this for now. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and I've got a piece of Whisper White. So I measured inside. This inside right here measures 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I'm going to make a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch card. Right? Yeah. I'm like, wait, yeah, okay. So 4 1/4, let's cut it this way. I think Yes, okay. So I'm gonna cut it at 4 1/4. And then I'm just gonna bring my bone folder in and I'm gonna score it at 4 1/4. You could totally do this with your Simply Scored tool. You could just fold it in half. But I'm gonna go ahead and stamp before I fold. So, okay, move that out of the way. I'm gonna bring in some Night of Navy ink. Yeah. I'm gonna start by stamping the outside. I'm gonna be using the Floral Damask. I call it Damask, it may not be. Just this one right here. And I went ahead and inked it up so I could show you. This is meant to look distressed. So you can see right there that it's not a smooth stamp. So you're not gonna get a smooth stamp. And what I love about that, since I am the queen of either not stamping correctly or getting ink everywhere or etc., is that it's meant to look distressed. So I'm gonna line this up kind of in the middle. It's not the least bit in the middle. And I'm gonna go about right. Yeah, right here. Flip it. I have a confession. I just finished this card and I'm starting over because I forgot to hit record. So I basically demonstrated an entire card to myself. So I'm going to turn it over, and that's why everything is inked up. That's the real honest to God truth. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm using the stamp set that we used in Wednesday's card. And I'm going to bring this in the middle, and I'm just going to go down and up. Just like that. I'm done with that ink, so I'm going to bring in my bone folder. I'm going to fold this on the score line. Just like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a piece of leftover pattern paper from the paper we used on Monday. This is the Floral Bouquet. I thought that's what it was called, but I wasn't quite sure. I'm going to cut this down to about 1 inch. Nope, I want to use a smaller piece, I think. Yep, I'm going to use that piece. And this measures, I believe it measures like a little, oh, it's almost 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and put some snail on the back of it, and I won't need to go all the way. Just about halfway like that. I'm using my grid to help me line this up. That's actually pretty damn straight. Who am I? Of course, I just told you I messed up, so there you go. That's all right. Crafting in real life. And the inside sentiment is a little crooked. You could go without a sentiment on the inside. I'm going to go with it. But again, I've already made this card. So this is what it looks like. So it fits in there just perfectly. Okay, just like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean these stamps really quickly, and I can move them out of the way because I don't want ink everywhere. I'm using my Stampin' Scrub in the mist. There's a wet side and a dry side. Ta-da! Wet, dry. ta-da! That's almost just as like exciting as when you mask something and you pull it up. Seriously. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring in my trimmer one more time, and I'm gonna bring in a piece of vellum, and I'm gonna cut this piece of vellum at 1 inch, and I'm gonna leave it at 11, because that's gonna be big enough for us to wrap it around. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna I'm gonna put this like this. And I'm just gonna like mark it where I'm gonna end up scoring it. And I know I need to stamp between those two lines. So I'm gonna flip it over. I am gonna be heat embossing. So let me bring in my powder, got my static tool, embossing buddy. I'm gonna use the Congratulations and my VersaFine ink. Okay, I'm gonna move this right here. Kind of get it even. Sorry, I know that's probably driving you guys crazy. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna go down and up, just like that. Yes, yay, it worked. It's a good day, Tater. I think I've said that twice this week, probably. Let it rip, Tater Chip. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna bring in my heat tool. I'm gonna use this on the first setting because this is vellum. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna heat up both sides and then I will be right back. So if you wanted to continue and just do navy blue, or if you're doing these in a different color, what you're gonna wanna do is stamp first in Versamark, second into your color, and then heat emboss it with either the clear or the, do we even still have the iridescent ice embossing powder? I don't remember, I'll have to look. But that way you still have, you know, it's all navy. But I wanna bring in some accents of copper because I love this new copper. So I'm letting it cool. And as you can see, that it's shiny, that means it's heated, and I went ahead and heated it a little bit on the other side. So I'm gonna bring in our card base, or our little card here. So I'm gonna fold this where I've already scored it, and I want it to be just a little bigger. So it's gonna be just like that. You could use a glue dot here, you could get some vellum adhesive. I don't think that's really necessary. This is the back of the card. It's not like everybody's gonna be paying super close attention. They're gonna be more focused on the beautiful floral and of course the front. So there we go. This moves up and down. Pull it off. And then the inside you have your card. So what I suggest if you're thinking about making these for your wedding invitations, etc., is I would do one. So then you can decide if you want it big like this. This use both the big one and the small one. I use both big ones on this, and you can decide how big you want it, and then you can take all your measurements and keep going from there. So this is 4 1/4. You can, you know, measure where these score lines are, score everything first, then cut, then die cut. I think you could probably knock out 30 or 40 of these in a couple of days. You're gonna definitely want to invest in that brush so you can brush these out, because honestly, that's what takes the longest time, is getting the little pieces out. But what striking, you know, these would make some striking save the dates, or you could do like a whole wedding suite with this. I think it would be absolutely beautiful. So let me put my little belly band back on there. So yeah, so that one was the most involved. Let me bring back the other two. So we started on Monday with this one that was a little bit more simple. We moved on to this one on Wednesday that was a little bit more complex. And then we saved the most complex, and I think the most striking one, for last. So yeah, so thanks so much for joining me, guys. As always, I will have supplies linked down below, or you can also go to my blog to get the supply list. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one. Make sure you're following me on social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and I have a special announcement for you tomorrow, so you're going to want to check that out, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.